All right. Thank you all for taking the time to come to this. If you came today asking the question, why is my marketing not performing as well as I think it should, we're going to try and answer that. I see a lot of people, and especially like the Scottsdale Chamber of Commerce, small business people, and I'm doing this presentation because I want to try and convey some information that's going to double your revenue. That's my goal. I've put everything that I'm about to say today in a PDF, and it's available to download at azfdigitalmarketing.com. AZF stands for Arizona Filmworks. digitalmarketing.com/marketingclass.pdf. So you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be moved. I want to start off today talking about some profound changes in marketing, because I think a lot of people are still trying to market in the 1900s. And technology has changed so much, we've got a completely different approach to marketing today. So we're going to talk about strategy and tactics. I'm going to get very practical, probably more practical than anybody in here wants me to get, but we're going to do it. Let's start off talking about strategy. Now, in the 1900s, I love saying that now, it sounds so long ago. In the 1900s, marketing was defined by, you had to define your target audience. And the reason why marketing made such a big deal out of defining your target audience is because the advertising avenues that were available to you only had demographics available. Like, for instance, if we shot a commercial, we could put the commercial on, Wheel of Fortune or the History Channel, but that's two completely different kinds of audiences. Or we could put the commercial on MTV, completely different demographic, right? Print, same thing. You could put print ads in certain places, and you knew that this demographic or that demographic was going to see those ads. So the fact that advertising only had certain avenues available to it, and they were demographic based, meant marketing had to be demographic based. And so you had to define your target market, and a lot of times that was too narrow, and you would miss a lot of people that maybe were interested in your product or service. So something profound has taken place in marketing today, a completely different strategy shift. Today, we do not target demographics. Well, some people do. There's still, marketing in the 1900s. Today, we target buy indicators. How many of you are shopping for a new car right now? One. So one person. How many of you have seen a car commercial in the last 2 or 3 weeks? Ford, BMW, right? The amount of money they just wasted on you because you're not shopping for a car is phenomenal, right? But they're doing that because you people fall into the right demographic. They think, well, at some point you will buy a car. When do you shop for a new car?
When I need it.
Okay, so when do you need it? When do you need a new car?
When your old one breaks down.
All right. When your old car breaks down.
Lease expiration.
Pardon?
Lease expiration.
The lease expires, you shop then. That's a good one.
Family's growing.
Pardon?
Family's growing.
You have a baby and you need a minivan. You buy a car then, right? You have a midlife crisis and you need that convertible, right? So what do you do when you're shopping for a new car?
You go online.
You go online where?
Carfax?
Carfax? Where? What?
Carvana?
Carvana?
Maybe who you dealt with already, like who you bought from before.
So if
Familiarity.
if you like Toyotas, you go to the Toyota, see what they're doing, right? You might go to Car and Driver. You might go to Consumer Reports, look at reviews. You might go to Auto Trader and see what the value of your old car is, right? And you might walk into a showroom someplace. Okay? These are behaviors that we all do when we're getting ready to buy a car or anything else. And those are what I call buy indicators. They're behaviors that people do that indicate they're shopping for something and a purchase is imminent. Buy indicators. Buy indicators work because you're being tracked. The four main categories that you're being tracked for buy indicators are search terms. So whatever you type into Google, if you type diapers into Google, forever that's recorded that you searched for diapers. If the sites that you visit, if you go to Consumer Reports or Carfax or wherever, that's all recorded. The things that you buy, you're all familiar with loyalty cards. You've got loyalty cards. Fry's, Safeway, CVS, Walgreens, Ace Hardware, they all have loyalty cards, right? And loyalty cards are just a convenient way for stores to monitor you and what you buy. And they associate what you buy with your name, even if you pay cash. Now, if you go to the grocery store and you pay for your groceries with Visa, they know that you spent X number of dollars at Fry's, but they don't know what you bought. But Fry's, because you use your loyalty card to get the fuel points, knows exactly what you bought that day. And I guarantee you, Nabisco knows exactly how many Fig Newtons I bought in the last year. The commands that you give to Siri and Alexa are all recorded. I've gone into my Amazon account and looked up exactly what I've said to Alexa in the last year. Exactly. And there's several things in there that I didn't even say Alexa. She just kind of thought that I said Alexa and she started recording, you know? The other thing is every place you go in the real world is recorded. So if you have an iPhone and you go to your home screen, you go to settings, you scroll down, you find privacy, you go to location services, system services, significant locations, and then you're at this page that tells you exactly where you've gone in the last 30 days. In my case, there's 92 records in here that my phone recorded that I went to. And now every one of us is recorded that you came here today. And it's not just Apple that tracks you, like if you have an iPhone. All of the apps on your phone can grab all of the information on your phone. So if you have the Facebook app on your phone, Facebook knows exactly what Google searches or Chrome searches or wherever you've gone. They know exactly what websites you've gone to on your phone. Facebook does. And if you go back to location services on this, there's 100 apps on there that can all access your locations and all the other information on your phone. I can use what's called geofencing to draw a little box around something on a map. For example, if you walk into a Lowe's or a Home Depot in the next 30 days, I can put ads on your phone for home improvement stuff. If you walk into a marriage counselor's office for the next 30 days, I can put ads on your phone, TV, and computer for divorce lawyers. If you walk into an emergency room, I can put ads on your TV, phone, and computer for personal injury attorneys because I know where you go. All of the information's recorded and I can target it with ads. Did I mention all of this stuff is going to be in this PDF and more?
Yes.
Okay. Download the PDF. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be moved. The last thing I want to say on this is buying and selling your information is not a $227 million a year industry. It's a $227 billion a year industry. They are buying and selling our information. Every place that you visit on the internet, every search that you do in a search engine like Google, every place you go is being tracked. Yes?
Is it true that they're also listening, or is that just, because I notice that whatever I talk about in the patient room, if it has nothing to do with me, I still get that on that night, I'll get ads for it, and I never Googled it. I just spoke about it in the room.
So this is kind of a religious, war discussion among people. There are people in one camp that say, oh no, nobody's listening into your private conversations on your phone. And then there's another camp that says, how come I talk about spaghetti sauce and the next day I get a bunch of spaghetti recipes, on the internet, right? Yes.
I think about spaghetti sauces.
That's how good it's getting.
Yeah, because I can promise you, I do not have erectile dysfunction. A million ads for it. So, and I'm always like, what is this about? But I know what it's about. That's what my patients have. So.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence, and people have suggested that you can do a test, for 3 days in a row, talk about some obscure thing that you'd never talk about, and see if you start seeing ads for it. Now, part of that test, you have to be dealing with a product that people actually put ads all over the internet for that particular product, like erectile dysfunction pharmacy stuff. I mean, they plaster ads everywhere. So they're a good candidate for, talking about something and seeing if you're being listened to. The other side of that is, that Alexa and Siri are constantly listening because they have to listen to you to see if you say, hey Siri. They're constantly listening. Now, whether or not any of that is recorded in some mountain in Colorado, who knows? As scary as tracking is, let's get back to marketing. So marketing, I said all this to make the point to you, marketing has been transformed by all this tracking. Like I said, the old marketing was demographic based. Now we target buy indicators because we can. And buy indicators are much more specific. I can tell when you enter a buying cycle for 10,000 different products. And I can put ads in front of you for those specific products based on the fact that you searched someplace, you visited a website, you walked into a store, anything like that. What do you do when you want to sell your house? What kinds of things do you do to get ready to sell your house?
Clean it up.
Home improvements. So maybe you'll walk into a Lowe's or Home Depot.
Real estate agent?
Pardon?
Real estate agent?
You contact real estate agents. You search the internet to look at reviews on different different real estate agents, and you always come up with Sandy.
That would be nice. Can you accomplish that?
I said Redfin and Zillow.
Yes, you might visit Redfin and Zillow and look at comps and whatnot. And so there's behaviors that you do getting ready to sell a house. And if I were a real estate agent, those would be the behaviors, the buy indicators I'd be targeting with my ads. So the first big shift in marketing, a strategy shift, is that we're not really targeting demographics anymore. We're actually targeting the buy indicators. And for your particular industry, you've got to think about, what do people do? What behavior do they exhibit when they're about to make a purchase in my product or service? And we can target those. The second big shift in marketing is that buying is going digital. Brick and mortar stores are diminishing while people order more and more stuff online. And I want you to understand, you are living in a transformation. Our society is transforming unbelievably. Seismic transformation going on in how goods and services are delivered. And you're living in this transformation. I want you to consider 4 things. Amazon disrupted retail. And we found out that people actually like ordering stuff online. It's convenient. So I've been living through the nightmare of a kitchen remodel. And so I've been going into Home Depot or whatever and looking for backsplash tile, paint, outlets, whatever. And what I found in both of those big box stores is they won't have the stuff I want in the store anymore. It used to be you go into these huge stores, Walmart, Home Depot, and they had everything, and that's why you went into those stores. Now you go in there and they don't have the stuff that you really need anymore. And I can't tell you how many times in the last 3 months I've had store employees tell me, well, just order it online. It's better that way. It's like the retail stores have given up. They're not even stocking stuff anymore. You know what Amazon did to the book publishing? I went into a Barnes & Noble a couple months ago looking for marketing books, and I found the marketing section, and all the books were from the 1990s. They're not even trying to keep up anymore. Just order it online. Just order it online. So number one, Amazon has completely disrupted how we get our goods and services. Number two, the pandemic has radically changed how we do this. Get ready for a statistic. In March of 2020, what was going on in March of 2020? COVID. We just entered into that nightmare. Searches on Google doubled in March of 2020. Think about this. February of 2020, there were this many searches. March of 2020 and continuing today, there's this many searches. People are using the internet more than ever to find what they're looking for. People are even buying groceries online now, right? That was something we didn't do before the pandemic. The third thing I want to bring up is that shoplifting is going to kill retail. Retail's been on life support for several years. Shoplifting is going to kill retail. You remember back the George Floyd riots, we saw Target, Best Buy, Verizon, and several other stores get wiped out by looters. And then recently there's been this rash of smash and grab kind of looting where like 80 or 90 people will pull up in cars, run inside, clean the store out, jump back in the cars and take off. And that's been happening in several places around the country. I don't think that's going to continue. I think that's a fad that's going to discontinue at some point, but still, stores can't sustain that kind of damage. They're already on thin margins and they just can't absorb that kind of stuff. I did a series of training films for Walmart a few years ago. They were implementing a new type of security features that was supposed to eliminate shrink, is what they call it. It's shoplifting. What I found out was it wasn't the customers who were stealing them blind. It was their employees. In the middle of the night, the employees pull cars up to the loading dock and throw TVs into the back seat of their cars. And not only that, shipping containers were being stolen from shipping docks left and right. Whole shipping containers were loaded onto 18-wheelers and driven out and the stuff sold. To the point that insurance companies would no longer insure a shipping container if it had more than 100 TVs in it or something. You couldn't fill the shipping container with certain kinds of high-end products. The insurance company wouldn't even insure it because it was too much of a target. Fourth, we've been facing these supply chain failures which also push people to order stuff online. So here's my point. We're living in this massive transition where more and more buying and selling is going to be online. It's already more online, and that makes your website and your digital presence more crucial and essential than ever. Your website is your number one sales rep. 81% of consumers research online before making any kind of a significant purchase. So your website is more important than ever for selling products and services. And it's very difficult to fill your sales funnel without a killer website that ranks well and converts visitors to buyers. The second thing about your website being your number one sales rep is that your website needs to have the right messaging. The right messaging begins with two things. How will your product or service change my life? And what's your offer? You need to present an offer. And a lot of us don't think that, well, you know, an offer is for some. No, offer, everybody is giving offers. Your competition is giving offers. It might be free oil changes for the life of the car. It might be frequent flyer miles. It might be rewards points, free shipping, special discounts, or Black Friday sales. 3 days and 2 nights in a resort if you'll listen to our sales pitch. Buy one, get one free. These are common things that we all recognize, but we don't think we have to make offers like that. But everybody else is making offers. You've got to provide some kind of offer, something good for free. Offers, not features, are the way you differentiate yourself from your competition. So this is the conclusion of the strategy stuff. I tried to talk about 2 profound shifts in marketing strategy. Instead of demographics, we now target buy indicators. And buying is more and more and more going digital, and you have got to compete in cyberspace or you're handing 81% of your potential clients to your competition. We're going to shift gears, go from strategy to tactics. And there's 100 tactics we could talk about in marketing. And so I've picked out the 10 most effective, most powerful marketing tools or tactics, because I think this list is going to do you the most good. We could talk about, you know, direct mail and catalogs. We could talk about signage and billboards. It used to be that the secret weapon of photographers was putting a Groupon deal, putting something on Groupon, because they not only advertised you, they had an offer in your photography, and it was very popular and made a lot of photographers a lot of money. We could talk about crowdfunding campaigns, new product launches, books, and even movies. There's scores and scores of ways to advertise and market. But we're going to look at these 10 because I think these are going to do you the most good. As I mentioned, 81% of people, before they make a significant purchase, go online and do research. They want to know, they want to just get information about your product and service. They want to see reviews. They want to see your offer. What sales are you running? And they want to know about benefits. How will this change my life? All of this means they're going to end up on your website. Your website is the foundation. It is the cornerstone of your entire digital presence. Your website is more important than it's ever been since 1996 when we started doing websites. So we're going to spend a little bit more time on your website because it's so critical to your marketing success. And I want to give you the secret to getting to the first page of Google. So there's 5 steps in how to build a killer website. We're going to cover these 5. Step 1, stop building your website for what you think looks good. You've got to build your website for Google. You know, most people sacrifice what Google thinks for what they think. They say, well, I want a really cool site with text and pictures flying around and special effects. I want to buy the best WordPress template, the prettiest WordPress template with all the moving bells and whistles. And you know, that's what I think is a great website. Google hates it. Stop building your website for what you like and start building it for what Google likes, if you want Google to pay attention. So who would you say is the king of clean, simple, and fast. Why do we continually try to impress this company with stuff that they hate? Philosophically, they're opposed to. That's my point. So if you want to get to the first page of Google, the first step is start building your website so that Google loves it. That means it has to be clean, simple, and fast. So here's one of my websites, AZF Digital Marketing. Simple, clean, loads fast. What do you think my message is? Okay, yeah, we fill your sales funnel, right? Notice that that's based as a benefit, not a feature. I'm not telling you what we do. I'm telling you how it'll change your life. I mean, this is the point. Honestly, my whole sales pitch is we sell qualified leads. How many do you want? Your website needs to look pretty. It needs to look like a high-end magazine, but it can be done in HTML, CSS, and a little JavaScript and be like fast, easy, and Google's going to love it. You need to have enough text on your homepage to get your keywords on your homepage. But nobody reads the text on your homepage. It's like a magazine. Keep this point in mind. Your website should look like a magazine. People look at the headlines, they look at the pictures, and they ignore the text. So there's a joke in there someplace about just reading the articles. The second step for building a killer website is you should make a list of everybody that's going to visit your website and what are they looking for. And whatever people are looking for from your website, your contact information, reviews, tutorials, whatever, they should be able to find whatever they're looking for without even thinking about it. Make it simple so visitors find what they're looking for really fast. 3, define your message. Okay, if I sell vacuum cleaners and I say my vacuum cleaner is so fast, you're going to clean your house in no time and you're going to be able to take a nap. So buy our vacuum cleaner and you can take a nap, right? That's positioning this thing in terms of benefits. Buy our vacuum and every Saturday afternoon you get to take a nap because you've got extra time. Now if I said our vacuum cleaner cleans fast, that's a feature. But if I say our vacuum cleaner cleans so fast, you can take a nap, that's a benefit. You see the difference? And that's why I'm trying to get you to think about your messaging on your digital presence, not only just your website, but also in ads or whatever. Position your message in terms of benefits, not features. So let's look at a couple fails. So here we've got the website, the homepage for Virgin Atlantic. It was like on November 15th or something. Really? London's calling? There's not even a benefit here. I don't want to go to London. It's a pandemic. Truck month. No feature, no benefit, nothing. Truck month. What kind of an ad's that? What kind of marketing is that? All right, so your message needs to be about the customer, not your features. The fourth thing here is you've got to plan your CRO. Your conversion rate is what percentage of people who come visit your website actually do the call to action or buy your product or service. That's your conversion rate. And conversion rate optimization, CRO, is you have to pay attention to that in the messaging of your website. So not only does your website need to present benefits and offers, your website, the message needs to walk people through your sales process. Do you know what your sales process is? Do you know the stages mentally that customers go through in order to buy your product? That should be on your website. and it should walk your visitor through the same process. So, as an example, let's say I were hiring a doctor or a therapist. My sales process might look like, is he or she taking new patients? Is he or she affordable? Do they take my insurance? Is he or she qualified? So a simple statement somewhere at the beginning of the homepage says taking new patients. Okay, we can check off stage one of the sales process. Your website might have the insurance plans we take or whatever. It might have some statement about, we care about your health and never want costs to prevent people from getting the health care they need. Call us to find out more about more options. Check off number two, stage number two. Finally, maybe your website uses some videos or testimonials to help visitors decide that they're qualified. Maybe after 3 testimonial videos, you got a video of the doctor, the physician, saying something like, I want to make you a promise. We care about the well-being of our patients. We're board certified, licensed, and have been caring for patients for 20 years. We're here to help you. Check off stage 3. The phone is in my hand. I've gone through the sales process for me just by reading the stuff on the website. It's walked me through my sales process. Now, the thing about CRO is currently, if 5% of the visitors to your site actually become customers, if we optimize your CRO and get that to 10%, we've doubled your revenue. So CRO is worth looking at. How do you boost your CRO? Well, one, you need to have a clear call to action. Your call to action, your phone number, your email address, whatever needs to be on your page 3 times. Fill out this form right now. Give them something free for doing the call to action. Set up your free consultation. We'll give you 3 days, 2 nights in our luxury resort. Testimonials. You can do these in text, but 3 or 4 video testimonials is very persuasive. I'm going to talk about this under SEO, but videos make your site sticky. Number 3, stories. People love stories. You can feature, you can list a feature, but telling a story about how that feature helped someone or made a difference, very powerful, very persuasive, and that's the point of CRO. And then professional videos and professional images. There's just nothing that performs as well persuasively as professional videos, professional images. All right. Number 5, the 5th step to building a killer website is planning your SEO. And now I'm going to tell you exactly what it takes to get to the first page of Google, because I've gotten a bunch of websites to the first page of Google. To get to the first page of Google, there's 2 categories, on-page SEO and off-page SEO. On-page SEO tactics are those things that you can actually do to your web page. Off-page SEO are those things you do like link building and PR and directories and stuff that are not associated with the pages of your website. So here's 14 things that Google looks for to boost your rank on the first page. We could probably talk about 150 things in the Google algorithm, but these 14 things will get you to the first page of Google. I'm going to cover each of these things so you can write them down as we go. And again, there's a free PDF of this entire presentation available to you online. You'll laugh, you'll cry, it'll move you. All right. Number 1, use HTML, CSS, and a little JavaScript. But to be fair, you can get to the first page of Google with a WordPress site. One of the big things to get to the first page of Google is to target local keywords. So like I could target video production for my Arizona Filmworks company. But if I target video production, a general keyword, I'm competing with video production companies in Seattle, New York, Chicago, Miami, all over the world. You know, we're all competing for the first page. But if I choose a keyword of video production Phoenix, now I'm only competing against the video production companies in Phoenix. So I have a much easier time getting the first page of Google. And most people in my profession want to deal with somebody local anyway. I mean, you know, if you want video production, you're going to go to a local company, not somebody in New York, probably. So which keywords? This is a valuable tool I wanted to give to you. You guys will like this. ads.google.com. This is a tool, ads.google.com, where you can go look up keywords, and you can look up how many times somebody has typed in a certain keyword per month. So if I said divorce attorney in Scottsdale, you can see that Google brought up divorce attorney Scottsdale was typed into Google between 10 and 100 times a month. If I just do divorce lawyer, 10,000 to 100,000 times a month. But again, I'm competing with people all over the world if I'm doing a general keyword. So my point is, you can go to this tool, ads.google.com, for free, and you could look up how many times people search for certain things that are relevant to your business. And you can pick out, like video production Phoenix gets more searches than anything else that's local. And so my target keyword is video production Phoenix, and I'm on the first page for that. Out of this list, my recommendation would be divorce attorney Arizona, divorce attorney Phoenix, custody attorney Phoenix, and family law attorney Phoenix. Those would be the keywords from this information, from this tool, that I would target on my website. So while we're on the topic of keywords and ranking, you need to know where your site ranks in the search results. This is a great tool that will tell you exactly where you rank for various keywords. It's free. It's called ahrefs.com, which is an HTML tag, and why a company would ever name their company for an HTML tag just escapes me. But anyway, this tool is great because you could say, well, I'll show you. So here's the tool, the keyword rank checker, and I put in video production Phoenix, and then I put in my URL, and I clicked check rankings, and it comes back with this, and it says that my website's number 5 on that particular day. So back to our list of 14 things to do to get to the first page of Google. When you know which keywords you're going to use, you need to conform other on-page elements to these keywords. So number 3, your domain name. Ideally, your domain name should have your keyword in it. For example, azfdigitalmarketing.com is a domain name for my digital marketing branch of my business. Digital marketing is in the domain name. Number 4, your title tag, the thing that appears up at the top of your browser window that shows what page you're on, your title tag needs to have your primary keyword in it. Number 5, your meta description. This is what people see in Google organic search results. It needs to contain at least your primary keyword, if not a couple others. There's a thing in HTML called an H1 tag. It's a heading tag. It's the main title over content on your page, the H1 tag, and it needs to contain your keyword. Google looks at this and says, if your web page, has a title of flying pigs over a bunch of content about flying pigs, your web page is probably about flying pigs. And so Google reasons that whatever's in the H1 tag is a big indicator of what your website's about. You can only have one H1 tag per page, but you need to have one H1 tag per page. Number 6, alt tags. When you put a picture on a web page, you use what's called an image tag, and one of the parameters in the image tag is an alt tag for alternate text. That is so like if I have a picture of flying pigs, but the website, the browser can't find the image of flying pigs because I accidentally deleted it or something, alternate text appears on the web page saying, well, there's supposed to be a picture about flying pigs. That is a clue for Google, and they say, you know, if it's a picture about flying pigs, your page is probably about flying pigs. Number 8, your file names should contain keywords. In HTML, your home page is always named index.htm. There's reasons for that. But all the other pages on your site can have bizarro names. Like my About page isn't about.htm. It's about videoproductionphoenix.htm. About videoproductionphoenix.htm. So Google sees what this page is about. Now, content. Again, nobody reads the content, the textual content on your website, right? But you've got to have a bunch of textual content on your website, and it's got to be full of keywords. So that Google, who's the only person in the world that actually reads your website, looks at the text and says, okay, that's what this is about. For example, you've got to have a blog section on your website. Write that down. Blog section on your website. And you need to put out a blog, like ideally once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. Put out a blog. It doesn't have to be real long, 200 to 500 word article, but it needs to be about your keywords, your search terms. The title of your blog needs to be your keyword search terms. Also, you need to have a facts page, an FAQ page. It's just another opportunity. I mean, who cares if any of your customers ever have any frequently asked questions? It's an opportunity for you to have content that lists your keywords. And you want to have 5 keywords in each one of your articles. So your main keyword search term needs to appear 5 times in a 300-word article. And then ADA, your Americans with Disability Act, there's a convention that I use, which is some people access the internet with text readers because they can't see. And so they have the web pages read to them. And an ADA page is a textual version of your website. Well, guess what? Google eats that up. Google looks at all that text, they see all those keywords interspersed, and they say, yeah, great, that's what this is about. And they rank you higher. They not only give you extra points in ranking for the fact that you have twice as many keywords now, but they like the fact that you're a decent human being and doing a disabilities access thing. So you get points for being compassionate. Internal links. Inside you have your navigation links, which, like I said, maybe you have an about link, navigation link at the top of the page, and secretly nobody's going to see this, but Google sees it. That link's going to go to about video production, phoenix.htm. Well, you can also put links in the content, not just your navigation links, but in all the content on your pages, you can put, and for more information about Phoenix video production, click this link. And that's in the content. So those are internal links. Also breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are what measures how far from the home page you are. So there'll be a little thing there that'll say home greater than sign, this greater than sign, that greater than sign. Those are called breadcrumbs. Google loves them. And they help define for Google what your site's about. So if I said home, flying pigs, pink flying pigs that go real high, I mean, Google would say, that's what this website's about. Number 12, your website has to be responsive and it has to be mobile friendly. Google will penalize the crap out of you if your website doesn't work well on mobile. More than half the people in the world access websites on their phone, and Google demands that your website look good and function well on mobile. And one of the big things is your links and stuff can't be too close together. You've got to have enough space on your mobile version that a big fat finger can, hit the link without hitting the 3 other links next to it. And Google has penalized me, and this is why I learned this lesson, because if you get those links too close together on mobile, Google throws a fit. Video makes a huge difference in your search engine optimization. And here's why. Google tracks how long you spend on a website. So if you type in flying pigs, and here's a list of websites about flying pigs, and you click the first one, and you're back in 3 seconds, Google understands that you didn't find what you were looking for in that first link. So they downgrade that first link the next time they serve it up to somebody searching for flying pigs. But on the second link, let's say you click that, and you're over there messing around on that website for 2, 3, 5 minutes, whatever, and then you come back. Google says, you know what? That second website that we listed must have had some good information about flying pigs because they sat there and camped out on it for 4 or 5 minutes. The reason you camp out on it is because it has videos. Videos make a website sticky. People get caught up if it's kind of an eye-catching, engaging video, halfway interesting. People will stick around, kind of watch a little bit of it to see, is this something I want to continue watching? And Google's recording every second you spend on that website, and getting better, ranking the longer you can keep people there. And then time, number 14. Google gives you major kudos for the longer your website has existed. If you just put up a a page last month, Google's going to say, here's a page that went up in 2015. Here's a page that went up last month. Google thinks the one that went up in 2015 is probably more important, has better stuff than the one that's been up a month. So time is a factor, but there's not a lot you can do about that other than just hold the course. Off-page SEO tactics, and I got to go fast here. The most important thing for getting to the first page of Google is how many backlinks you've got. And this tool on SEMrush is a free tool, and it will tell you how many backlinks you have. Backlinks are the single most important thing for ranking. The more backlinks you've got and the higher authority you've got for backlinks, the higher Google is going to rank your page.
Can you give an example of what that is?
Yeah, backlinks are any other website out there who links back to your site. It's like if I put an ad in Yelp for Arizona Filmworks. So there's a link in Yelp back to ArizonaFilmworks.com. That's a backlink.
Or your chamber listing?
Chamber listing! Yes.
No, that's what I was
Oh.
going to say. Like if you're a member of your professional association and they have a link, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes. And, if we traded links back and forth, those would count as backlinks. The problem is Google also ranks, like if a really important site links back to your site, that's better than a no-name site linking back to you. You get credit for the backlink, but ho-hum. That's why directories are important. You've got to get into as many directories as you can get. And then press releases. For $60, $100, or $200 and something dollars, you can put out press releases with PR.com, and they go out to 40,000 different news outlets and blogs and stuff. And if anybody picks up your little story about your business or some announcement or something that you're doing, you get backlinks in all the places that pick it up. So those are good ways to do that. SEMrush, again, is this free backlink tool. One of the cool things here is you can find out where your competition is getting their backlinks. You can use this tool, SEMrush, and look up your competition, and it'll list where all their backlinks came from. and then you can go get backlinks from the same people. Let me run through these last things. So we spent all this time on your website. I want to at least touch on the other 9 things, the elements of marketing that you need to look at. Google My Business, absolutely essential. It's another website for you and your business. You have got to manage Google My Business because Google My Business has become the default place for everybody to put reviews about your business. I can go to Amazon to look at reviews on a product, but if I want reviews on DebitFire, I go to Google My Business and look at the public reviews on that page about DebitFire. You gotta manage Google My Business. Pay-per-click. If your page is not in the first page of Google, you have got to do pay-per-click advertising. You've got to come up with the $300 a month to at least do minimal advertising on pay-per-click. One of the reasons is, my belief, not everybody's belief, if I'm paying Google in pay-per-click campaign money, they're going to give me some love in ranking. Also on pay-per-click campaigns, one of the big things is you can do display ads through Google pay-per-click. Display ads on pay-per-click is where you define an audience, and you can define the audience by what websites they visited and all kinds of different parameters. And you can put ads in front of all of them. One of the big things, here's a strategy thing, target your competitors. Typically when you think about doing a pay-per-click campaign, you put in the keyword search terms that are most relevant to your business, like payroll, taxes, or whatever. And you would target people that are searching for payroll, taxes, or whatever for Arnie. I'm telling you, in addition to that, target your competitors. Put your competitors' names in there. My competitors do. Ambient Skies is targeting the heck out of me. If somebody goes and sees one of my competitors like Sneaky Big Studios and they only have a conversion rate of 5%, 95% of the people that went there aren't going to buy on the first visit. They're going to come back and they're going to see an ad for Arizona Filmworks. YouTube. I can't say enough about YouTube, and I've only got about 3 minutes, so it takes time, but it's free, people. It's free advertising. It's the second largest search engine on the planet. You can set up your phone and go blah, 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 blah for a minute and put that on YouTube for free with some great keywords, great title, that's your keyword search term, and people will find you. You have, why, I don't know why people throw away the free advertising on YouTube. It is phenomenal. Now,
I know you're limited on time. Could you give an example of like what you would put on YouTube? Like, oh, no. You're gonna get to that.
there.
There we go. Little blend.
This was a famous thing. A blender company came up, Blendtec, and they made this blender called the Total Blender. And instead of making a video about the features of their blender, they got creative. They came up with this entertaining thing and said, will it blend? Will it blend an iPhone? Will it blend a camcorder? Will it blend marbles? Will it blend and golf balls? They came up with all kinds of stuff. And they do these little short 1 minute kind of videos, and they'd say, okay, today, will it blend an iPhone? We're going to find out, folks. And here's an iPhone, and they drop it in there, and they say, will it blend? And it, just tears it to little tiny pieces. And people loved that. I mean, they had like 10, 12 million views on these things. And guess what? If I'm ever buying another blender for margaritas, that's the one I'm buying. Social media. Jenny did a great presentation a month ago. It's on the Chamber website. Go look at everything you ever want to know about marketing your business on social media. But let me say this. Social media is good for businesses because of backlinks and your web presence, your digital presence. It's an opportunity to build a following, and the ads on social media can generate some traffic to your website. The big thing here is social media is for building a following. That's probably more important if your business is makeup that appeals to teenagers. If you're a plumber, I don't think you're going to build a following. So it kind of depends on what business you're in, whether or not building a following on social media is going to be a real profitable thing.
Does LinkedIn count as social media too?
Yes. And it depends. I mean, the thing about LinkedIn, Arnie, is it's supposed to be used for networking. Just like all of the social media, people are there to be entertained. They're not really shopping. I mean, I may see something on Facebook, an ad, but I'm not shopping on Facebook. I'm there to be entertained by what, my cousin Billy Bob is saying outrageous things. And if I see an ad that I have an impulse buy, I might go buy it. But there's better ways to spend your advertising dollars and targeting buy indicators rather than social media.
But the following on LinkedIn, is that valuable?
Yes, if you can build a following on LinkedIn, then you can do a post, and like I've got 850 followers on LinkedIn. If I do a post, 850 people, not really, but might see this post and think I'm offering something cool. Geofencing. Burger King did this thing where they used geofencing, which is drawing a box around things, and in 2018 they did this thing where everybody that got within 600 feet of a McDonald's got an ad for a 1-cent Whopper. And you wouldn't believe how much traffic went from McDonald's to Burger King because they did that. Another famous example, Walmart in some places will use geofencing to put coupons on your phone for items in the aisle that you're standing in. Uber did this famous thing, what year? I don't see it. Uber did this thing where everybody that walked into the baggage claim area of LAX got a notice on their phone from Uber that said, "Do you want us to pick you up outside?" That's geofencing. Okay? Somebody walks into a showroom at Toyota, they're shopping for a car. If I'm BMW, I'm plastering them with ads for BMWs. Okay, that's geofencing. Retargeting, again, if I do a pay-per-click and display ads, I can make audiences and I can retarget people that have searched for certain things, visited certain websites, even my own. You need to be retargeting people who visit your website, along with your competitors' websites and along with all these others, because only 4% of the people that visit your website buy the first time. So for the next 5 days, put a bunch of ads in front of them reminding them they were on your website and they should come back. Retargeting. And OTT ads. Okay, let's just pretend I spent 30 minutes talking about how wonderful OTT ads are. These are the new TV commercials. They're not expensive, they're not hard to do, and you hire somebody that's brilliant and handsome to be clever and creative. Email is the last one, number 10. You want to offer a white paper, a free ebook or something, and then collect email addresses. And again, this is creating a following. If I write a white paper or an ebook on flying pigs and I offer it for free, and I get 100,000 people to, download my ebook, then they come back and they say, I've got 100,000 email addresses of people that are interested in flying pigs. It's free now. I can email the heck out of that list and offer them all kinds, pig collars and whatnot, because I've got a ready-made list. I've got a following. You do the same thing with social media, but this is this. At this place, desertwriters.com/publish.pdf, I explain exactly how to publish your book on Amazon for free. It's a great differentiator. It's a great giveaway. Okay, that's your 90-minute class, and it's 5:01. Woohoo! I wish we had more time for questions, but Everything you could ever imagine is in that PDF that you could download for free. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be moved.